Check. 1, 2, 3. Are we rolling? Are we rolling? I can hear it. I can hear me. Can you hear me? I imagine you answering back saying, yeah, girl, we can hear you. Pop off, yeah, woo woo. This is episode 10 of Nellyville, the podcast with their host, Nellyville, Nelly from the Ville. If you need to take a pause, to cry, to go get a Kleenex, I will wait for you. Pause. I'll be right here. Okay, are you good? Look, don't be too sad. I'm not going to be gone that long. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you have followed me along from 1 through 10, wow, you are of a different breed. That's impressive that you put up with me for this long. Either way, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have your post notifications on and all of these things so that you know when I come back. Okay? Like, look, I've been telling y'all all season. Now you want to sit over here and I got confused like I didn't tell y'all this was going to be 10 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Now, I guess your next question is, Chanel, we ain't coming back. Okay, calm down. Let me tell you. I am going to be back with season 2 on April 7th. Mark your calendars, set a reminder, open up your Google Apps right now if you need to pause again to make sure you write it down. Okay? We are going to be back up and running on April 7th with season 2. So I'm just going to be gone for for a cute little month, working on new content for you guys, and then we'll be back in business. It ain't no thing. Just look, everybody, look. I'm working on some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Not just podcasts. I'm going to continue to be doing YouTube. If you don't watch me on YouTube, what are you doing? What are you doing? You missing some good laughs. Okay? I'm also on the TikTok. I'm on the Instagram. Oh, I've been killing it on the Instagram, and can't nobody tell me otherwise. I won't hear it. I will not be told that I have not been killing it on the Instagram, okay? But I also have another announcement. So if you want that announcement, you got to wait till the end. Now, don't be cute and try to fast forward to the end of the episode. Like, oh, what's the announcement? Come on. Don't cheat. This isn't high school. Not that I'm encouraging high schoolers to cheat. Baby, don't do that. It's not worth it. You're going to cheat. You're going to get caught. Then what? You can't go to college. I'm rambling at this point, but this is nothing new. This is what we signed up for. This is what we like, right? So make sure you're getting in your feedback now, so I can have it on my mind for when I'm recording these new episodes for you guys. Okay, so also this is just a random note that I thought of, but I have to say it. You know who is still being slept on? Erica Banks. Y'all know the rapper Erica Banks? We're really sleeping on her. She's a rapper and she's really good and she's been out for a little while. And don't get me wrong, she's out here successful. She's out here popping. But I really feel like she should be more of a household name. That is not the musical person of the week, but you know what, look, it's the season finale, it's episode 10. Let's go ahead and have a double feature. So I'm gonna say Erica Banks, and then at the end we will have our regularly scheduled person of the week for the music recommendation. Okay, I think this is the longest intro I've had. Is all of this considered the intro? I'm gonna say so. I'm going to say so. So, I think we've taken care of business. 5-star reviews. Leave a comment if you can. Come find me on the other socials. Okay. Are we clear? Are we good? All right. So, look, I have a few different things that I want to talk about with you guys. First things first, we need to talk about these talk shows, though. Are we seeing the end of the talk show era? Okay, so my man Nick Cannon got canceled after just one season of his talk show. You got The Real done, okay? And then now I think it is official that Wendy Williams is not coming back. After such a long run, after such just an impactful talk show to pop culture. That's really a big thing with Wendy not doing the show anymore. Sherri Shepherd is lined up to take her spot. I have heard this from a couple of different sources, but I have not really read it from an article or anything myself. But I think that, since Wendy's not doing it anymore, I'm guessing this is true. I don't feel like fact checking it, but it's just going to end up morphing into the Sherri Shepherd show. And so congratulations to her for getting this gig, and it's nice to see that they did pass it on to a black woman so that we can kind of keep that diversity there. Now, who's going to take over that slot? I don't know. I hope that they keep it, in the same family of keeping it diverse and mixed up. And, look, the talk show industry for many, many years, the late night show industry, the daytime TV talk show, it's been pretty heavily vanilla for very many years. Great shows, enjoy a lot of them, have enjoyed a lot of them over the years, but it's definitely time for a more diverse representation, blah, blah, blah. Same conversation that we've been having. Now, I'm going to bounce back and forth between the talk shows. That's how we roll. That's how my brain works. I think you guys are getting used to it. So, unless this is your first time here, then come on, just keep up. I'm going to try to make this make sense for y'all. So to go back to Wendy, like I said, congratulations to Sherri. Sherri is very funny. She is a really good actress. She's just, I really like her. I've always liked Sherri. I'm glad she has her own show. I'm going to check it out and see how she does and what she does. But I don't think that she is the best choice to replace Wendy. I think that her talk show will be good. But look, nobody can replace Wendy. Let me just say that nobody can replace Wendy and what she meant to her community and to pop culture. That's just what that is. But I think that Sherri Shepherd's audience, her demographic, is very different than Wendy's. See, Wendy was messy and she was exciting, and Sherri is exciting, but in a different way. Wendy said whatever was on her mind. She didn't mind arguing with people. She was going to tell you who it was, and she was very and is very important to the gay community. She kind of was just adopted into that because, the LGBT, the drag queen community, the gay community, they like to do what's called reading. When you read someone, that means that you, it's kind of like joking with someone, but a read is kind of more of a shady joke. And most of the time it's done out of love, but Sherri Shepherd's not going to get on there and read the kids. She's not going to read it. She's not, if she gets on there and is actually shady, I will be shook. I will totally be shocked. But I feel like in order to keep Wendy's demographic and to attract new people, because it's not just the LGBT or the gay community or the drag queen community that like that type of, shady, gossipy girl talk. They're not the only ones who like that. And I just think they need someone who is going to attract the same type of audience that Wendy would. And I just don't think Sherri Shepherd is that girl. Now, I know you're like, Chanel, well, do you have someone in mind? I do. Why did we not have T.S. Madison take Wendy, take on a, I don't want to keep saying replace Wendy because it sounds wrong to me, but have somebody new for that demographic. Y'all get what I'm saying? If you don't know who T.S. Madison is, T.S. Madison is, she is so, well, that girl's funny. If you think Wendy told it how well, T.S. Madison really told it how it is. And this is a black trans woman. Can you imagine a talk show, black trans woman, super funny, a fresh point of view, but also it would feel like honoring what Wendy started. Like, you know what I mean? I just, and if not T.S. Madison, someone like her. I also had the idea, what if we had a drag queen? We have all these drag queens. Can you imagine for a second if we had just a full glamazon, just maybe a little drag, somebody from RuPaul's Drag Race who, went home on the second episode. It doesn't even have to be someone that everyone knows, like a Shangela or Alyssa Edwards or Bob the Drag Queen or Gottmik. It doesn't have to be like a huge name like that. But how exciting would it be to just kind of shake it up and just really do something that especially daytime TV has not seen before. And I think it would just be very refreshing. Like, if you're going to be diverse and you're going to take it there. Let's really shake up middle America. You know what I mean? Let's shake up the South. Let's shock the children, honey. We want to see, everybody likes a little bit of gossip, a little bit of shade. And I think it would just be a really fun, new point of view. So, look, that's all I have to say about Wendy Williams. I hope that she is doing well. Let's send love and positive vibes to Wendy because we're rooting for you, Wendy. She was just a huge part of pop culture, and whether you agree with her or not, you cannot deny that woman is so entertaining. So maybe she'll come back with like a podcast or something because, Wendy, all right? Now let's talk about The Real. I stopped watching The Real a long time ago. Now, The Real, I don't even know who all they have on there right now. So I started watching The Real when it first came out. So when you had Adrian, who was, Chanel from the Cheetah Girls. Oh, I love me some Cheetah Girls. I love the Cheetah Girls. That is one of the best, if not the best, Disney Channel original movies that was done. I think High School Musical is probably my favorite, but I think it is tied with the Cheetah Girls. Now, let me go off on this tangent for a second. The only reason why I would say that High School Musical is more successful than the Cheetah Girls is because High School Musical actually went to the big screen. Now, some people might say, well, the Cheetah Girls didn't go because it was too ethnic. It was a little too urban. I don't know because I think that the Cheetah Girls did have the potential to get to the big screen if Raven, because Raven Simone was Galleria from the Cheetah Girls. If Raven Simone would have stuck with the Cheetah Girls, now I'm not saying that she didn't have a right to walk away or anything, but there was no Cheetah Girls there was no way it was going to the big screen without Raven Simone. You know what I mean? And if you're not going to have all four Cheetah Girls, it didn't even have to be just Raven. You can't start with 4 and then take it to the big screen with 2 or 3. Like, it's just, you can't do that. I imagine if Raven would have stuck with it, and maybe we can get the girls back together. I don't think so, because I don't think they all kind of get along right now. I don't really know. But Raven is, she's back on Disney Channel with, they kind of remade That's So Raven. And actually, Adrian is coming back. She had a kind of a on again, off again role on That's So Raven. So she's coming back. And, so, hey, maybe they can get the gang all back together. Because that would be really cute. I would live. Would y'all live for, I don't want a reunion. I want, a movie. But, them now. I would live. They remade the High School Musical with it's kind of like a next generation, and that's where Olivia Rodrigo came from. Man, I am spiraling, and I really should know all of this, but you know what, whatever, your girl keeps up. Back to the real. So you have Adrian who, wasn't she the girl? You had Lonnie Love, you had Tamara, the twin, the Tamara Mowry, and you had Tamar, Tony Braxton's sister. So you have they started out strong. Oh, and oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Jeannie Mai. And Adrian's last name, Balin. I hope I'm saying that correctly, in case anybody wanted to look her up, because I know I think everybody else's last name. Before we talk about that, side note, Jeannie Mai, we know, is married to Young Jeezy, the rapper. Okay? We love some Jeezy around here. He was that guy in the early 2000s. Oh, Young Jeezy was that guy. I mean, he's still that guy, don't get me wrong, but when he came out boom, boom, and he really wasn't even about that life. He just rapped about it, and I think it worked out really well for him. I think it worked out really well for him because he was open about it. I don't know if he was open about it the whole time, but anytime I ever hear or heard him question about, hey, where do you get your inspiration from in songs, he's pretty open about it being, oh yeah, that's just a persona. So yeah, Jeannie Mai, Young Jeezy, they got married. How long has it been? Like a year or two now ago, give or take. They have a baby, and the interesting thing about that is that Jeannie was married before, and correct me if I'm wrong, she got a divorce from her first husband because when they originally got together and when they originally got married, they both agreed that they did not want children. And later on down the line, they were married for a while. The husband decided that he changed his mind and that he wanted kids. And she was like, when we got married, we both agreed, I don't want kids. He did. And one thing led to another. They obviously were no longer together. She gets with the Jeezy. They're married. She got pregnant 5 minutes later. And I think, did she get pregnant before they even got married? I don't know. It all happened so fast. Look, a lot happened. You want dates and exact time frame of things? Y'all got the same Google I do. But I just wanted to say, look, everybody has a right to change their mind. And her ex-husband, he made some choices. Let's just say that. I'm trying to get into all their tea. That's not what we're doing here. But look, everybody has a right to change their mind. And, life happens. And when when it comes to things like kids, either you want them or you don't. And marriage is all about compromise. And you can't compromise on a kid. You can't have half of a kid. Either you're going to have them or you don't. So if one person wants them, one of them don't, there's not a whole lot of compromise on that. Because either someone's going to end up resenting the other person, or that kid's not going to have two loving parents. Or, that's a hard one to compromise on. So I understand why, you know, and then, but I kind of feel for the husband, because imagine, you go into a marriage and maybe you did feel that way in the beginning, and then you change your mind about wanting kids. And I'm not saying that they didn't have other things going on, but you get a divorce essentially because she didn't want kids, and then she gets married 5 minutes later and has a kid 2 minutes after that. And it's just kind of like, that has to hurt. That has to be a slap in the face. And you can't control what you want with who you are with at the time, because different people bring out different things in you. There must have been something in young Jeezy that made her feel like she wanted to be a mother. But I do remember her on the show. She was very adamant about, I don't want to be a mom. I don't want kids. I don't want, look, and like I said, you can change your mind, but it was just kind of like interesting, to say the least. It was interesting. And then she I remember on the show, she made a comment about black men. She said that, and look, I'm not trying to start nothing, and this isn't even new, this is old tea, but Jeannie Mai did say something on the show, and the clip is on YouTube if you want to fact check me. She said something about she didn't want that, something along the lines of she would date a black man, but she could never actually see herself being with the one or marrying one, something like that. Like, I don't think she meant it how it sounded. I really, really don't. I don't think that she meant it the way it sounded, but it sounded like she was fetishizing. Oh my gosh. How do you say the word? Fetishizing? Oh my gosh. All those years of college and grad school out the window. You know what? I'm not even going to edit it out, because there's some words that just kick your ass. And that one for me did it. A lot of y'all out here can't say stuff. I'm not going to have it. I can sit here, I record and edit my own podcast. If I wanted to act all bougie and these things, which, look, y'all hear how I talk. I code switch all the time. Sometimes I talk very professional and very da-da-da. And sometimes, hey, not that was a professional voice. I was making fun of professional voices, but y'all get the point. I code switch, and that was real. I couldn't say that word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And that's what it sounded like she was doing. I don't think that's what she meant, but, hey, mean what you say and say what you mean. Very that. Let's go back to the real, because we done told all her business. We went way over there. Let's get on back on the highway. I stopped watching the real, I think, even before, I started to slow down even before Tamar left the show. I started to slow down. But after Tamar left, and I love me some Tamar. I love Toni Braxton, but I love me some Tamar. That woman is funny. I really love her voice. I love the way she sings. Tamar just really was a huge part of the show, as all of the original people who were on there, those ladies together, that was just the formula. They had the perfect chemistry, and I don't even really remember or know who they brought on to replace her. I think they took a while to replace her. Did they have some special good? It just was not the same. And then, after she was off the show, Tamar went through her things, but she out here popping out. Look, I don't know if y'all seen her lately. Well, she's always been very glam, very pretty. But, man, she out here, she's back. Y'all might want to go look up Tamar. But the idea of the show and having this kind of melting pot of women on there, it was just very refreshing, because they're just a big audience for that, which is the reason why you have this panel of women style talk shows that have been so long lasting. That's why The View, and does The Talk still come on? I know The View still comes on. It's a reason why those shows have been on for so long, because that demographic, you're just always going to have that demographic of people who work in jobs where they have the TV on, like hairdressers and salons and, waiting rooms, stay-at-home moms, people who work from home and can kind of catch it in between whatever it is that they do. You have a demographic for that, and look, I love me some Whoopi Goldberg. I love me some Whoopi. But the talk was for I'll just say a different demographic. It was for a different demographic. It was the same idea, but it had a different point of view. And it talked more about pop culture. I think when The View first came out, I can't really remember because when it came out, I was a little girl. So I really wasn't watching like that, mainly because I was in school. But over the summer or whatever, when it was on, or if I caught a rerun or something, I think it was a little bit more pop culture when it first got started, but now it's definitely way more political. But I think that that works for shows like The View because I feel like the show matured or grew up with its audience. I don't want to say matured because that sounds... they've taken the word mature and turned it into a weapon. So it feels dirty now. You know what I mean? No, nobody wants to be called for a mature. It depends on how you're using it. You know what I mean? If you tell a 10-year-old, you're being very mature. You're very mature acting. That's a compliment. That's something that could make a kid feel good. But if you tell a 40-year-old woman, it's for a mature audience, that's like when somebody tells you, you look great for your age. No, why can't I just look good? Why I gotta be for your age? You know what I'm saying? You look great, but you still, I don't know. Y'all get what I'm saying. I hope they bring something like that back. I don't know who the panel is going to be. I don't know what happened with that show. I don't know if they needed a new team or if it needed to be reworked, or if just that style of show just isn't... Maybe it has just phased out. Maybe it has seen its era and people have evolved and want something else. But I don't know. I think that talk shows and panels, I don't think they're done yet per se. They do need to be reworked, but I think there's always going to be an audience for a panel of people. So what does that look like in 2022, 23, 2030? What does that look like? I don't know, but it needs to be recalculated and rethought out. But it needs to go away. I mean, it doesn't need to go away. It needs to stay. It needs to stay. We need that point of view. We need that flavor. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to bring it back, make sure it has flavor is all I'm saying. But I think they had a nice run. They had a nice run, and I think that it's all time for those ladies to start something new. This could be the start of something new. Okay, sorry. High School Musical. So Nick Cannon. That leaves Nick Cannon. I did not get to catch the episode of this talk show. Not because I didn't want to. I honestly, I really don't watch talk shows like that anymore. I mean, most of the time, I don't even... Was that a daytime show or nighttime? I think it was a daytime show, right? Look, if it comes on during the day, baby, I can't say, look, I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? I try to watch some talk shows. Like if I know like I'm gonna have like if it's a special guest that I really want to see, or if it's, I try to catch it on some other streaming platform or like YouTube or something. But, look, it's just so much out here to watch. You can't see everything. But I am a fan of Nick Cannon. I have loved Nick Cannon since he was on Nickelodeon. Ever since he first came on all that, I have just always loved him. Look, now I know he out here, you know what I'm saying? And I think that has a lot to do with why this show was not renewed for a second season. But you know what? That is okay. Because if nothing else, what we have seen from Nick Cannon is that this man is resilient. He is a cat with 9 lives. He works very hard, and no matter what you think about him and his personal life decisions, he is a professional. He is a very hard worker, and he keeps a job. Him and Keke Palmer will never be out of work for that long. That just will never happen. But I'm a huge fan of Nick Cannon. I adore him. I think he's so talented. I just think that he just represents so much good. And, I feel for him because I really feel like, I don't think he's just out here just being reckless to be reckless. I don't think that he wants to have people questioning his reputation and these things. At the end of the day, he was a child star. And there's not too many of them who grow up without any hiccups. I think that a lot of his hiccups have come later in life, and so therefore people are not as forgiving. Plus, this is a black man in America, and plus, he was married to, the Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey, and America's she forever will be an America's sweetheart. I think that sometimes we just have to remember not to judge and not to be too quick to be like, man, what the hell are you doing? Which, look, he does do things that make you say, man, what are you doing? But you got to remember, this man has been in the business for a very long time. All of the things that he has done in television and behind the scenes. He even had a music career. This man has had a movie career. This is somebody... You just don't work that hard for this long and gain so much success and money and fame without doing some questionable stuff due to trauma, due to lapse of judgment. And you have to wonder, is some of this, not everything, but some of the things that he has done or is doing, could it be a trauma response to maybe some things that he's witnessed? He's had to witness a lot. I mean, you got to remember, when he started on All That, he was on All That was a show, was kind of like an SNL for kids that was on Nickelodeon. Then he had the Nick Cannon show, and he had his own show on Nickelodeon, and then he took over Teen Nick, and he was the face of Teen Nick. He did all these things for Teen Nick. And then he had Wild 'N Out, which is on MTV. He did that movie with Christina Milian. What was it? Was it Love Don't Cost a Thing? He did Drumline. He had some great movies. He had a cute little music career. He was kind of like a little mini Will Smith. He didn't stay making music for a long time, but he had some hits. It might have been for the young little children or the young people, but he had some songs, and he's done a lot. He is a household name. America's Got Talent. He's just a lot. And so yeah, this is an end of an era, but this is definitely not the end of Nick Cannon. I wish that it could have gone on a little longer, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it has a lot to do with some of the more recent news that has been coming out. But We love Nick Cannon around here. We wish him well. No stress, much success, all the blessings. Take care of your kids, bro. Do what you gotta do. I forever will be a fan of him, because I do want to add this, and then I promise we're gonna move on. Nick Cannon, believe it or not, is actually one of the many people that have inspired me to do some of the things I do, as far as wanting to entertain and wanting to do all of these creative things. Because there was an interview that he did, I believe it was on 106 & Park. 106 & Park was like a video countdown show. I feel dated explaining what 106 & Park is. Like, I feel like, oh, back on American Bandstand. And if you don't know what that is, no, I was not. Shut up, whatever. Okay, so and for people who don't have any flavor, it was like TRL, but on the Black People channel, okay? So, 106 & Park, so you had Nick Cannon, and so obviously this was a long time ago, but at this point, Nick Cannon, he's always been popping off. But anyway, so they had him in this interview, and he said something that I always remember, and it stuck with me. I don't remember what the question was, but I remember the answer. And he said something about that he sees himself as a Renaissance man. He sees himself as someone who wants to do it all and who will do it all. And he did. When he had this interview, he was already pretty famous, but he was very, very young. And he was still more or less kind of just getting started. And he said that, and he did it. And that stuck with me, that he said, well, I don't want to just do one, I want to do it all. He was like, I see myself as a Renaissance man. And I was like, well, by golly, George, I want to be a Renaissance woman. And I just always thought he was so funny, and he was just okay with being kind of the silly, quirky guy. He never tried to like be something that he wasn't necessarily. He didn't try to be like thug life. Like, you know how Bow Wow, which I don't want to compare him to Bow Wow, but and Bow Wow was always, he was a rapper, but he was a little boy rapper. So, but when Bow Wow got to be a certain age, he tried to be like more hard than I think what he really, like, y'all know what I'm saying? Not that Nick Cannon didn't have his phases where he tried to act hard or whatever, but he more or less, I think, stayed true to who he was. Even if people were like, man, he's goofy, he's corny, he stayed and he stuck with it, and look what came of it. You love to see it. But no, for real, big inspiration to me. But yeah, we're gonna move on from the Nick Cannon. We love you so much. Oh my gosh. So look out for him, because like I said, him and Keke Palmer, oh, they keep a job, baby. Oh, they're not gonna be out of work. You can hello, they're gonna keep a check, keep a bag. Anyways, so let's segue into the next topic. How do y'all, first, before we do, how do y'all feel about this multi-topic podcast type of situation? Do y'all want to hear more of this style, or do you want more of kind of what I was doing before this final episode? Because I think this is kind of the only one where I've kind of talked about more than one thing. Well, at least more than one thing dealing with pop culture. So if y'all like this, let me know. If you just want whatever I got to give, you know, maybe we can mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Feedback is everything. But anyways, we're moving on. I wanted to talk about something totally different subject, but it's been on my mind. So yesterday, I was watching TikTok live. So live is what you can do. You can go live on just about any app now. I mean, it's where so on like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, I know you used to be able to go live. I don't know if you still can. YouTube, you can do this feature where you can go live to your audience in the moment. You don't have to like record something and post it. You could just more or less click a button and you will be live and people will be able to see you in real time. So I was watching, I know some people like, yes, we know what live is. Hey, look, man, we might have the elderly listening right now. But the elderly, they on social media too. So maybe I didn't need to explain what a live was. But whatever, okay? If somebody didn't know, shut up, okay? Don't judge me. Okay. Sorry, probably shouldn't tell your audience to shut up. I formally apologize. But anyways. So I'm watching this live, and this girl, without making the story too long, this lady had her son in the background, and the son's trying to kind of get the mother's attention or whatever. Anyways, she ends up yelling at this little boy, like on the live, just live in front of everybody, in front of the world. And it wasn't a whole bunch of people in there, which that's not my point. You shouldn't just be yelling at your kid for no reason anyway. But the fact that did you forget you was on live? And I thought the woman was going to, turn the camera off or she just kept going. Like, I'm thinking, like, what? Like, you not embarrassed that you just lost your temper on your son for really no reason? Anyways, I couldn't keep watching off of that. I clicked off because it was awkward and it was sad, and the little boy started crying, and it wasn't like a whining cry. It was like he really had his feelings hurt. And I know you're like, did you report her? I didn't report her, but I almost did. But I'm like, what would I report? Because really, technically, did she do anything wrong? Well, yeah, but was it something that necessarily needed to be reported? I don't know, but people just be snapping at their kids for no reason, and I don't understand. Oh, the little boy was like 5 or 6, if I didn't say. But I know, okay, so when I first got on the live, I know I said I was going to keep the story short, but I feel like y'all need details, and I know y'all little nosy selves, y'all going to want to know. So when I first got on the live, like, I was probably watching for about 10 minutes, and the little boy was saying that he was, I think he was saying he was tired, or that he was sleepy, or, yeah, he said he was tired, because then the mother told him, she was like, okay, well, we're about to leave, because she was at work. She was, like, at her, I don't know if it's her boutique or her salon, both, I don't know. She was at work, and the little boy was there with her, and she was like, okay. She was like, well, I'm almost done. Just lay down in your sleeping bag. And so, at that point, I was like, you know what? If you've had your son there with you for a while, or if he's saying he's tired, maybe get off of live and hurry up and finish doing what you need to do so you can get out of there and take that baby home. That popped in my mind, but I was like, you know what? She might be doing this live so she can get a little bit of coin to help maybe get a little cheeseburger for her little boy. So who am I to say that she needs to stop this bag? Because you know what I'm saying? Because when you're on live, you have the potential to make money in one way or another. I'm not going to explain how you can make money, but that could be a source of income, So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep watching. So I kept watching, and then so the little boy comes up to her again and says, he asked for something, and she was like, well, just da-da-da-da. So she kind of brushes him off because she's like in the middle of like telling a story or something to like the audience, people watching her on TikTok. And I'm just kind of like, well, it didn't sit right with me, but I was like, the little boy did say he was sleepy. And you know how kids are when they're sleepy, and she wasn't mean to him at that time, but I I felt like when he come up to you twice, you really should have got off the first time when he was, intend to him. The second time you should have got off, because now you see he's gonna keep interrupting you, which is gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you already trying to do something, like she was trying to make labels or something she needed to do before she left her shop. So you already distracted by this live. You know this little boy, he's going to keep bothering you because he's tired. He's probably hungry. And that's just what kids do. You got too much going on. But see, he came up to her again. That's when she snapped on him. Not because necessarily he came up to her for like the third or maybe even the fourth time. I think it was what happened just prior to him coming up. So what happened was she started to talk a little bit about her dating life. And this, I'm sorry, I had to stop to say, I love how I started the story by saying, I ain't going to tell the whole story. And here I am telling details that don't even matter. But I gotta talk. I gotta work through this because I keep thinking about it. I hope that little boy's okay. But I mean, it's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. But I'm just telling this so that maybe some of y'all who go live, I know people that go live, maybe just kind of think twice about what you're doing and make sure that you are, putting your responsibilities first, and just be very cautious of what you're doing and what you're saying on this live, because you never know who's watching. And when it's live, you can't take it back. It's not as, now look, not to say people need to be editing out child abuse or illegal activity. I'm not saying that. But if you're going to be on live, it's a very dangerous thing because people like to screen record. You can't take it back. It's live. But back to what happened just before the lady snapped on the little boy. So the woman starts talking a little bit about her dating life, and when you're in these lives, people can comment and interact with you while, you as the host, you're talking, and then you have people in your live and people can comment and say whatever. So one of the viewers said, OMG, how many exes have you had? I've been with the same guy since high school. LOL or whatever. Well, this rubbed the girl the wrong way. I don't know if this person was trying to be shady or if I don't know. But you could tell it rubbed the girl the wrong way. As much as she tried to act like that comment didn't bother her, she went off hard on this girl. She started talking about this girl. She started telling the girl, well, I'm sure your man's cheating on you. That's boring. I could never be with the same man since high school. Like, y'all must have been those kids that had the roller backpacks in high school, or y'all must not be that good. I mean, she was going in on this girl just because the girl said, how many exes have you had? Because I've been with the same guy since high school. And she just continued to tell this girl how her man was cheating on her and this and that. Like, it was wild. And then the girl was kind of saying some stuff back to like defend herself, and it was kind of escalating a little bit. And then, because at first the girl was the girl who was hosting the live, she was kind of joking around, but then she kind of started getting kind of mean. And then that's when the little boy came up, at kind of like when things were kind of about to get heated. It went from a kiki to it was about to be take earrings off. And so the little boy comes up and he says something, and that's when she snapped on the little boy. And that's why I said I don't think it had really anything to do with him, a little bit, because like I said, he had already come up to her before. It was the end of the day. I'm sure she was tired. She's trying to, and then you had somebody on TikTok who hit a nerve for whatever reason. But see, baby, if you a ticking time bomb like that, you don't need to be on live. Because there ain't no telling what you gonna do, what you gonna say. And then at first I thought she was just gonna, like, get on the little boy for a second, but, like, she went on for a little longer than was necessary, because I think the little boy was just asking for something to drink or something. And then she, like, before he could even really get his question out, she was like, didn't I tell you to sit down? Why is it? No, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. You always doing too much. Go sit. And then I think she cussed at the little boy. I was just so shocked. I was like, did she forget that she's on this live? Like, did she forget that we're here? It was just kind of weird. And then I kind of feel like the comments kind of stopped because I think nobody really knew what to say. It was just kind of like, and I almost said something in the comments like, man, like, maybe Dad, you ain't have to holler at that little boy like that, but I wasn't trying to get cussed out. She done already yelled at 2 people. I wasn't trying to be number 3. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't stand to watch anymore because it said enough about her character to me that I didn't need to see anymore. And I know people have their moments and nobody's perfect, and sometimes you do snap on your kids. I've seen great parents snap on their kids, but see, the difference is, you young mothers be forgetting where y'all at. You know, the older generation, the older generation knew how to get on their kids, and when nobody know, you got to pinch them right up on the lawn. You know what? I'm just playing. I'm not condoning. Don't put your hands on your kids. It was a joke. It was a joke. And if you're gonna be sensitive about me telling a joke, this ain't the podcast for you, because I like to joke around. I look, I know child abuse ain't funny and blah blah blah, but y'all get what I'm saying. But I guess I'm asking, what would y'all just click out and, like, move on? I mean, cause you see what I'm saying? Like, she didn't really, like, ain't like she struck the child or anything, but I don't know. I mean, it ain't none of my business, and I'm not gonna go back to see if she. I don't know. I mean, do I send the woman a private message and say, hey, you know, it ain't my business to tell another grown woman what to do and how to discipline our child. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the little boy did. I don't know exactly what he was doing, what he had been doing all day. I don't know. I know that we live in a time where social media is normalized and is such a big part of us, and it is something that helps people grow their business, whether being an actual influencer is your gig, or if you use social media to help grow, you know, your business in general. And I know that you know, to do anything today, you have to be out there. You have to be selling yourself on all platforms for any kind of business that you have. People want to be able to, if you have a business, you have to be on social media. That's just what it is now, because people need to be able to see that you are real. They want to see your presence online, not necessarily your numbers, but they want to be able to fact check you and see, you know, what are you selling? What do your hairstyles look like? What do your nails look like? You know, what kind of property do you have? Just, y'all get what I'm saying? Whatever business you have, it just needs to be available for people to see and look up on across any platform and see if it's something that they are interested in doing business with you. But some of y'all just kind of get addicted to the attention. You don't realize that you are addicted to social media. And I'm not saying that moms or dads can't be on social media or can't go live. I'm just saying, just check your priorities. That's all I'm saying, because, you know, you have too much on your plate, or you spend too much time looking at yourself and thinking about yourself. You're gonna do things like snap on people, including your children. And that's all social media is. It's thinking of you constantly are thinking about yourself. You're looking at yourself. You're listening to yourself. You're watching yourself. You're editing yourself. And humans are not meant to consume that much of themselves. So as good of a thing that social media is, if it is not done in moderation, as we all know, it can be something very ugly. So that didn't sit right with me. Don't be yelling at your kids on your live. If you gotta have some family time, just cut the live off or what it like. Y'all just be doing anything on these lives, and I'm like, man, y'all gonna lose business or go to jail trying to be cute and not thinking about what you're doing. Come on now. Okay? Enough of that? Okay, look, let's move on to something lighter. That's all I just, look, I just want to put that out there. Let me know what y'all think about the situation, though, for real. The last kind of hot topic, hot topics. We're going to miss hot topics, Wendy. The last hot topic that I want to talk about, and it's kind of cold topic, but I got to say it because not enough people are, and a lot of y'all are not going to agree with me, but I'm sorry, but Zendaya and Tom Holland, I'm not buying it. Zendaya, the actress, started out on Disney Channel. She's on Euphoria right now. She's done a bunch of things. She played in the Spider-Man, and of course she's dating the Tom Holland, who played Spider-Man. I'm not buying the relationship. I'm so there is nothing about that, and I keep seeing people say, "Oh, they're so cute. I love their relationship. It's great." No, there is nothing. I do not look at them and see chemistry. I don't look at them and see. I'm not buying it for a second. I think that it's all fluff, and people just swear that they are that it couple. I'm like, what are we looking at the same couple? Because there's nothing about either one of them that I feel like that I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Now, I think that Tom may actually be into the Zendaya. I unless he look, hey. Also, the young man might just be a really, really great actor. But I definitely feel it more from him to her. But I mean, come on, this Zendaya. I mean, geez, like, of course, like, that's easy to pretend to be into her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's not love, as they're trying to say. And they done went over there and bought that house together. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all are not, I'm sorry, I don't see it. Somebody send me a video or something. But that girl don't like that boy. And I would not be told otherwise. Now, I might be wrong for this, but this is just between us girls, okay? So, y'all don't go run tell that. Now, look, I know that it is not right necessarily to speculate about one's sexuality. It ain't nobody's business. But I just gotta say it. And y'all let me know. But listen up. I think that Zendaya likes women. Now, and that is okay. That is okay. But I'm not saying that she is just full on not into men at all. She may be bi or pan or something, but I may be curious. Maybe she wants to go through a little Miley stage of, dating the girls and then playing the field. But what do y'all think? Have you picked up on that? Do you think I'm way off? She might not be into women at all, but she's definitely not into Tom Holland either. And I will not be told otherwise. Now, the other thing that I have to say, look, Zendaya community, Zendaya fans do not come for me. Look, let me tell you something. I love Zendaya. Okay? We go back to Shake It Up. Shake It Up is one of my favorite shows from Disney Channel. I was so with her when she had the music career. I was so with her when she did the KC Undercover and all these things. I was even with her when she did that entire busted Estee Lauder collab, okay? I don't know why they had that 18, 19-year-old little girl looking like, was she even 18 when she did the Estee Lauder? Look, I know they was trying to revamp and appeal to the youth, but why didn't they revamp and appeal to the youth? They had Zendaya looking like the girl was 55 years old. For what? That's America. But anyways, I look. I love her, but I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't, if I love you, look. I gotta come from a place of love. Hear me out. Her performance in Spider-Man wasn't all that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted so much. I wanted so much to love her in Spider-Man because I love Zendaya. I still listen to her music. And I know it sounds like I'm trying really hard to prove that I love her. I do. I think she's gorge. She's a great girl. She's a good girl. Great. She's a good actress. But what she did in the Spider-Man, she didn't give it to me. Now, the relationship, the love story between Mary Jane and Spider-Man is very crucial to the Spider-Man storyline. That is a huge part. I mean, look, all the superheroes and their love interests, it's a big part. The romance, people love the romance, but specifically to me, and this is just, of course, it's my opinion, it's my podcast, but the storyline with Mary Jane and Spider-Man, even though her name is a little different, is but whatever. The point is, it's very crucial, and that chemistry. What chemistry? There was no chemistry, and then, I'm sorry. I want it so bad to see it and to feel it, and when they kissed or when they anything, it just didn't give it to me. I'm so sorry, and I know that she's the it girl right now, and she probably was the best pick for that role. But the chemistry was not there, and it was pretty disappointing. It was very disappointing because I've never seen that weak of a connection in a Spider-Man film. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But that's just what it is. But I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit talking about Zendaya because I ain't trying to get nobody. You know what I'm saying? Said to me, death threats. Talking about, why are you talking about this Zendaya? You don't even know her. You know, when you are that it girl, and you know you that number one actress, or you that when you that popular one, people are like, oh, she can do no wrong, and I'm thinking, no, man, I gotta call a spade a spade. Because I know that she can do better. You know what I'm saying? If I felt like that was as good as she could do, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's it's what she can give. Nah, man. You can give it. You can give a little something more than whatever that was. I don't know if but it may not have fallen on her. Maybe it was what she was getting from the directing. Maybe the director, the chemistry there was off. I don't know. But, yeah. And I know y'all probably like, Chanel, you gonna talk about Zendaya and not say anything about the Euphoria? I'm gonna be so honest with you. I've only watched one episode of Euphoria. Therefore, I don't have too much to say. And what I do have to say is not positive. And I just got done saying I'm gonna quit talking about this girl, but at the same time, I feel like I can't talk about her without talking about Euphoria. I don't know if y'all can hear the music in the background. No, it's not my music, but just shut up. Just mind your business. Okay, so, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm glad this is the finale episode because I have a feeling I'm gonna say a whole bunch of stuff in this episode that's gonna make a lot of people mad, and this little month break is gonna give the people time to regroup and forgive me. But also, I said what I said. Okay? I am keeping that energy. I said what I said. And what I'm about to say is, I don't like you. I don't like Euphoria. There it is. Boom. If y'all can hear this music in the background, I am so sorry. Of course it starts playing now. But you know, neighbors, right? So look, I'm so sorry. I know you're like, Chanel, how can you say you don't like a show and you only watch one episode of it? That's why. I could barely make it through that one episode. Look, I went forever without even watching Euphoria because I knew that was not the type of show that I was going to like. I wanted to watch it because I love Zendaya, but I am 31 years old. I know all podcasts I've been saying I'm 30. Well, I had a birthday. My birthday was March 5th. So, you know, happy belated to me. You know what I'm saying? I am 31 years old. I know what I like, what I don't like. And I'm not afraid to try new things, but I knew that was going to be a sure thing. I wasn't going to like it, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to support Zendaya, but I already knew I wasn't even going to go down that road. But you know what? We got here, and I'm like, look, the show keeps getting renewed. I was like, you know what? Let me give it a little try. Because maybe I'm wrong about what I think it is, and I might be wrong. I watched the very first episode that they came out with, and I cannot tell you how many times I stopped it. I couldn't take it. I'm sorry. For one, I don't mind like scary movies. I don't mind things that are like gory or like, you know, there are certain things, certain stand-ups and certain things that I can watch that are very adult. You know, I look, there's some things that if it's done right on the right day, I can watch it. I can be perfectly fine. But there are some things that I'm sorry, it's just too much. And Euphoria is one of those things. Now, is that to say that it is a bad show? No, I'm not going to say that it's a bad show, but it is not for me. I'll leave it up to you to decide if you think it's bad or not. But I don't. The reason why I couldn't get through one episode, which I did. I had to keep stopping it. It took a really long time to get through it. But I did want to actually give it a fair chance. And that's all that I could give it. Was me just struggling through that first episode. And the reason why I didn't like it was for the reasons exactly why I knew I wasn't going to like it. I'm sorry, and maybe it's because I'm 31, but I have a huge problem with, and I think everybody should, that's over a certain age. It is very weird to watch a show that is so heavily sexualizes what's supposed to be teenagers. And you have people who are older than me watching this show and excusing it and saying, well, the actors are grown. But also, these actors are barely grown. But at the end of the day, you have these grown people who are portraying it's still children. They're still portraying children. So maybe I don't know how people are able to disassociate the two. Because either the acting is not good or you're excusing your perversion. And that's just what it is. I just don't understand how, and this podcast took a turn, but we went there, let's go there. How do you disassociate and just connect your brain from the two? The characters of the show are high schoolers, okay? This is not a Degrassi that we are talking about here. If you're not familiar with Degrassi, that's the show that Drake used to be on, and it depicted the social life and just kind of the life of the American teenager, okay? We've seen a lot of shows like this. We've had Degrassi, we've had Dawson's Creek, we've had so many movies. We've had American Pie. We've had not another teenage movie or whatever it was called. Y'all know what I'm saying. I mentioned the ones like American Pie and Not Another Teen Movie because those movies, they were really out there and they were raunchy and they were funny. But they were funny. And it was done in a way that it was not so jarring. Euphoria is not necessarily, it's not trying to be funny. It exaggerates a little bit, but it's trying to be real. It's a drama. And to me, I feel like there is a line between depicting what teenagers and young people actually go through and then just doing way too freaking much, dude. To me, and I know it's a different time, but Degrassi had a way of showing you what was really up without it just being porn, without it just being, I'm sorry, Euphoria is sick. And if you are over the age of 25, I'm going to go ahead and say 25. And to me, that's pushing it. But if you are over the age of 25 and you are watching Euphoria, I don't pass judgments on people, but you might want to think about your desensitization. You might, like, we are all desensitized. I know I am too, to a certain degree. I'm not that far gone that I can sit and watch that show. And I know they like to say that, well, they're just trying to shed a light on what really goes on with drug use and sleeping around and all these things that teenagers in America goes through. Like, I get that. But you're not finna sit up here and telling me that y'all not glamorizing it. The people love to say they're not glamorizing it. They're making it real. They're not making it seem like it's, no. They are making it beautiful. They are making this shit look cool. Okay? And I can tell that just from the one episode that I watched and just some of the other clips and things that I've seen over the last few years that the show has been out. I know that is the number one show right now. But that show is weird. It's weird and it is not okay. And this coming from someone who has a very dark sense of humor. I wouldn't say that I'm a prude. I can be, but like I said, it's not my cup of tea. Look, I also don't like, I didn't really care for Empire. I couldn't watch Power. I watched one episode of Power, but I know what kind of shows I like. I'm more kind of like a comedy, family friendly type of person anyway. Like, I can sit and binge watch Full House. So I know you're probably like, well, of course you like Fuller House. How in the world are you going to sit and watch Euphoria? Yes, but like I said, there are certain things that are on the more mature side that don't bother me at all. But it's not teenagers screwing adults. Yeah, that's the first episode. If you've not seen, let me tell you, let me paint the picture, because if you haven't watched it or you don't plan on it, the very first episode, you have a grown man. Okay, and I'm sorry to get graphic. You might want to fast forward a few seconds. I'm not gonna go into extreme detail, but you had that in real life. The actor is, I think, in his late 40s or 50s, even. Okay, so of course that's his more or less his age in the show. So you had this grown man depicting a sex scene with this minor who's supposed to be, I guess, like 14, 15 years old. Trans boy. Or trans girl. He was, this young person was transitioning from a boy to a girl, and was very female presenting. And they didn't come out and explicitly say, oh, this is the trans girl in the show, but they had like a lot of clues and stuff in the show that you could figure out what was going on. And you had this grown man, and the actor in real life has a wife, has children. And I'm just like, I know that it is acting. And I know that both people in the scene are technically adults. But this was still a pretty decently big age gap. And I know that older people sleep with younger people all the time. Like, whatever. Look, real life is real life. You have two consenting adults, whatever. That's everybody's business who's grown. But in the show, this already young person is depicting a minor. And I wonder, how does this wife in real life, and then the man, the character in the show had a wife and children who go to the same high school as this person that he's hooking up with in this hotel room. I mean, it's just too much. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in real life, but how do you, as an actor, prepare for that role? What kind of headspace do you have to tap into that you allow yourself to be able to depict the scene? And it wasn't like one of those where they did one of those, like 90s things where they, pan the camera towards the fireplace and imply some shit. No, they actually like fully, this man, full frontal nudity. Now, was it a real Winkle Wonka? I don't know. But full frontal nudity in this TV show. Okay, nobody's, typing in stuff on the computer. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody went to the bookstore and bought the little dirty movies. No, this is just a TV show. And I know, look, people evolved and dipping in and doing it is natural and beautiful and all these things. But do y'all get what I'm saying? When it's grown people, I expect to see stuff like this on shows with all grown people. You know what I mean? Not shows where it's teenagers. Because who is this for? Because if you are a grown person watching this, I imagine if you are a little bit older than me, then you have kids that are around this age. Or you have kids that are close to this age. There's fully parents out here who are watching it. And I'm thinking, this doesn't make you, want to claw your eyeballs out? Because if I was a parent, I would be like, oh my gosh, you're never going to school again. I would freak out. How do you, gosh, I don't know. And to be these adults portraying these characters that are doing these things with these minors who are supposed to be minors. I get doing things for shock value, but I don't know, where is the line? If this is where we are as a society, that we are just this desensitized to this type of thing, where do we go? And I'm talking about, who is this show for? Because I'm not letting my 15-year-old watch this. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll figure out a way. But who is it for? Is it for like 18 to 24-year-olds so they can remember the trauma that they went through? Like, I don't, look, there are ways and then there are ways. And, I'm all for telling the truth and keeping it real, but I think it's distasteful. And Zendaya has a no nudity clause in her rider, which basically says any scene that she's in a show, she will never be, show her body. And I'm just find it interesting that I don't want to call her, look, I understand why she would have that in there. I mean, of course, I understand not wanting to be completely nude on camera, or even partially, right? But you want, that's where you draw the line? That you don't, but you're in a show where they got just full winkies every 5 seconds. You have who are supposed to be teenage girls flopping and bouncing around. I mean, y'all, every 10 seconds, if it wasn't a titty, it was a winky. If it wasn't a winky, it was somebody's booty. I'm just like, what am I watching? Then they had like this 6-year-old dealing drugs. I didn't know, like, literally, like, it was this little kid. He looked like he couldn't have been more in like 5th grade. And I'm just like, who is this for? Like, what even is this? So, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about what in the world is going on. Yeah. Please let me know where y'all stand with all of that. I'm going to wrap it up because y'all got me fired up. And I think I've said enough about that. If that's your favorite show, baby, explain to me. Explain to me. How old are you and why? And how do you disassociate? Because I thought I was the queen of disassociation, but I couldn't separate the two from that. So, with that being said, you guys, you know what time it is. It's time to wrap up season 10. Oh, season 10. Girl, can you imagine? Hopefully we'll get there one day. It's time to wrap up episode 10. So since we are at the end, for the last time this season, what do we have to do? We have to talk music. Okay? Before we say goodbye, let's talk music one last time. Oh, look at me write music. Which is a great segue, because guess who the musical artist is for the week? Yes, you guessed it. It's me, Nelly. Yay! Okay, so but that is not my musical artist name. Okay, some of you might already know. Yeah, I have different names. So the music artist name that I go by is Chanel number 5. Not with a C, with an S. Chanel. Chanel number 5, okay? On some of these platforms that you listen on, it probably says your host, Chanel number 5, okay? I'm coming out with new music, okay? So, to remind you, season 2 is coming back April 7th, right? Check this out. I'm hitting y'all with new music on 420. April 20th. You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting y'all with the new music on 420. So y'all about to get a double whammy in April. I'm coming in hot. Okay? I already have music out. Go check it out. It's on the YouTubes. And leave me a little comment. Let me know what song you like. Let me know what you don't like. I'm open to critiques, okay? Chanel number 5 sounds on the YouTube is probably the best platform to go listen to it. That's where everything is that's on there right now. But yeah, I'm very excited to release the new music. I'm a little nervous. Look, I'm like Erykah Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shiznit. Okay, but yeah, it's time to get some new tunes out there for you guys. Yeah, I've been on here too long. I don't want to say goodbye, you know? But you know what? It's not goodbye, it's see you later. You know what I'm saying? It's see you later, because I'm going to be back. The time's going to go by. It's going to fly by. It's going to fly by. And I'm still going to be hitting y'all with YouTube every Wednesday. I'm still going to be TikToking and pop blocking. I'm still going to be doing the Instagrammy and the Twitter twatter, okay? So I'm going to be around. You just ain't gonna have nothing to listen to on your way to work. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so yeah, check out Chanel number 5 sounds. I was trying to think of the name of the YouTube channel. My link tree should be linked somewhere to wherever you are listening to your podcast, which is just linktree/Nellyville. And you can find my music there. And yeah, you guys, this is it's been real. This was so fun. Thank you so much for listening and joining me on season 1. We made it. We did it. We made it happen. We said we was gonna do it, and we did it. We was like Nike. Somebody call Nike and tell them we just did it. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your month. And this is not goodbye. This is see you later. Okay? Yeah. I'm dragging it out. Okay, for real. All right, for real. Come on. See, people be doing this on the phone with like somebody hang up. No, you hang up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting on my own nerves now. See you guys April 7th, and check out the new music on April 20th, okay? 420, and bye. Love you so much.
What I'm talking about. Get the bread, break a leg, rinse and repeat. Take the drink to the head like, hey, it's me. Hugs and daps, I'm fisting caps, who asking for me? Peeps up and down the city, don't try to come for me. Hey. Newburgh to the west end. Newburgh to the west end. Got peeps all over my city. Stand up, get ready. Newburgh to the west end. From Newburgh to the west end. Got peeps all over my city.